So welcome to today's case study of session 7, presented by Group 4. We discuss about the royal dining membership program dilemmas of the Hong Kong Grand Hotel. So let's dive into the first questions, which is if you were Erica Liu's shoes, what would you present to the executive committee? So for these questions, if I were in Erica Liu's shoes, I would structure my presentations to the executive committee around my two main pillars. The first thing is to have a clear diagnosis of the program performance. And secondly, after that, is I will propose a strategic options to resolve its tensions. So we dive into the first one, which we discuss about the program performance, its benefits, its cost, and pain point that we need to resolve. First thing is to discuss about the financial benefits. So the first revenue the Royal Dining membership bring is the membership revenue. So the program generates substantial revenue from its membership annual fees, which are almost a pure profit as they have minimal association costs. So the revenue will come from the purchase membership contributions with approximately 1.78 million manually, and the credit card membership also add in 1.01 million. So the total would be 2.79 million in total, just only for the Royal Dining memberships and revenue. Next is about the restaurant revenue. So the Royal Dining members will drive a significant dining revenue with an average net revenues of 225 per party, with the 4.8 visit per member per year, as discussed as seen in the exhibit 3. So it will bring a lot of for restaurants revenue for the hotel. And next is we can see that the Kabuki's reliance on its Royal Dining members, like 42.8% for purchase member and 19.6% of the credit card members, will highlight the impacts of the Royal Dining restaurants revenue in the total revenue of the hotel. Next about the cost margin. So about the program structure, despite a 35% average discount, the food cost percentage of 32%, which ensure the profitabilities. So, for example, with just a 2.2, with just a 225 bill cost, it will cost about $72 in the food cost, leaving about 153 margins for the Grand Hotel. And lastly is the ancillary revenue, such as the discounts from room booking, the partnership with credit card company, and subsidized memberships for the premium customer, will also a revenue source for the Hong Kong Grand Hotel from the early program. Next, we'll discuss about the operational cost and its pain point. So the program, which gain a lot of revenue, but also leads to a lot of customer complaints and operational difficulties. So the first thing is about the staff frustrations. So the server reports difficulties enforcing the complex rules of the program, such as one card per table, and they have difficulties in handling member behaviors, such as splitting table to maximize discount, as seen in the exhibit 8. There's a main staff of the server that they said, I hate having to explain the rules for the customer. So this problem will strain the service staff and affect the moral and service quality of the restaurant. Next is about the customer complaint. So the program restrictive, complex rule like no beverage discount or blackout date which designed to prevent abuse, unfortunately lead to frequent dissatisfactions, which can hurt retention and brand loyalty, will increase the administrative burdens. Next is about displacement. So during a peak time, for example, Friday dinners at Kabuki, that we see in the exhibit 6, so the Royal Dining members may display the full pay customer, such potentially harming the overall revenue of the restaurant and also the guest experience. And lastly is about the brand image concern. So the discount-driven nature of the program will conflict with the Hong Kong brand luxury image. So it's risking the premium experience expected by the guests. So next we will find out the way to resolve the problem above, which will consider the strategic recommendations. So the first thing, if I were Erica Liu, I would suggest to simplify the program rules. So we will revise the discount structures. So we replace the tier discount like 50% for adults, 30% for threes, etc., which a flat 25% discount per member, just easy like that. And it will cap at 2 adults per card per table. So the rationales for doing so is to simplify the rules, reduce the confusion and staff workload. So it's highlights that the clear loyalty rules will boost the satisfaction in hospitality. So it will resolve the complaint. We will have fewer complaints and we will reduce the operational disruptions. The second recommendation that Eric Liu should suggest to the executive committee is to protect the luxury experience by having the peak period limit. So we will restrict the royal dining discount to 25% during peak time and reserve 30% of table for non-members of the royal dining program. So the rationale for the result is to prevent the displacement and reserve the premium ambience. So by doing that, we can balance the member access with the regular guest priority. The next recommendation is to extend the beverage discount. So, but it will have be limited. So we will have the 10% beverage discount, and we offer it cap at the 200 per bill. So only 200 bills above, we have a 10% discount beverage. So the rationale to do so is to attract suggestions and leveraging the low beverage cost of just 22%, while we also can protecting the margins. So overall, it will enhance the member value without a significant profit loss of the restaurants. And lastly, is to enhance the staff support. So by training and incentive. So when we provide training on handling the royal dining interactions and we offer the bonus for the high member satisfactions for the staff, it will decrease the staff frustrations with the royal dining program and its rules. Like in the exhibit 8, there's comments saying that the royal dining discount will lose the tip. So the staff clearly not very appreciate the program. So by doing so, it would boost the moral and guest experience. So in conclusion, by simplifying rules, protect the peak period, and extend limits beverage discount, and supporting staff, we can ensure the program sustainability aligned with the Hong Kong Crane goals. And for the strict resolutions to be successful, I would recommend implementing these changes in and monitoring the outcome via the member feedbacks, the revenue trends, and staff satisfaction.
So now we move into the question number 2. As Erica Liu, what analysis would you run to assess the financial performance of the Royal Dining membership program? So in order to assess the financial performance of the Royal Dining program, 5 key analyses will be conducted and presented to the executive committee, focusing on the revenue, the profitability, and the member behavior. So the first analysis is the membership fee revenue. So this will determine how much revenue that the Royal Dining program generates from the membership fees. So total fees are calculated from the paid members who paid about 1,588 Hong Kong dollar per year for the regular dining plan and 2,587 Hong Kong dollar for the Epic Platinum plan. So alongside lower fees from the credit card partner. So contributions are compared between the paid member, around 700 people, and credit card members who made up about 80% but are less active. So program operating costs like the card printing and the management, they are estimated to calculate the profits. And the membership fees provide a significant revenue with the high profit due to the low cost, but the program relies heavily on credit card members. So the second analysis is the restaurant revenue from the Royal Dining customers. So this will help to assess the contribution of the Royal Dining customers to the revenue of the 4 restaurants. So the revenue share from the Royal Dining is reviewed with the Kabuki contributing over 60% and Hollywood Road Deli under 6%. So revenue is analyzed with the meal period, lunch versus dinner, to understand the Royal Dining impact during peak hour and or the off-peak hours. So the average check per the Royal Dining customer is compared with that of the full price customer, and the result is that the Royal Dining significantly boosts the restaurant revenue, especially at the Kabuki, but risks displacing full price customer during busy hours. So the third analysis is the program profitability. So this will help to check if the Royal Dining program generates the profit comparable to regular customer. So the gross profit margin is calculated from the Royal Dining restaurant revenue, considering the average food cost of 32%. And this is compared with the profits from the non-Royal Dining customers who paid full price. So beverage costs at 24%, they are assessed to evaluate the potential of extending discount to the drinks. So Royal Dining profitably matches that of the regular customer, and they offer a beverage discount that could increase the revenue without significantly lowering the profit. The next analysis is the restaurant seat utilization efficiency. So this will help to determine if the royal dining optimizes seat usage or harm the revenue. So revenue per available seat hour is calculated for each restaurant with a focus on Kabuki and Cantonese cafe. So seat occupancy is checked during peak hours like the Friday evenings to see if the royal dining customers replace higher paying guests. So table configurations are analyzed for the royal dining groups with typically 2.5 people. So the result is that the royal dining few seats during the off-peak hours, but it may reduce the revenue during the peak hours due to the lower price. And the last analysis, which is also the fifth analysis, is the member behavior and long-term revenue. So this analysis will explore how members use the Royal Dining program and its potential for sustainability. So average visits at 4.8 times per year with a party size of 2.5 people and a 35% discount rate are analyzed. So the paid members with a 75% frequent use are compared to the credit card members with only 25% active. So complaints about the program rules that are evaluated to predict the referral rates. So paid members offer high value, but complex rules may reduce the referrals.
So now we move to question 3. What effects does the Royal Dining membership program have on the brand and value perception of its local customer in Hong Kong and its full-paying hotel guests and dinners? How could the hotels address these issues? So first, I will talk about the first part A. What effect does the Royal Dining membership program have on the brand and value perception of its local customer in Hong Kong and its full-paying hotel guests and dinners? So first for local custom in Hong Kong, which is the program member. So first it have the positive impact on the value perceptions. So the program is designed to encourage Hong Kong residents to dine at the restaurants at a discounted rate and offers members the opportunity for significant dining discounts. The 50% discount on food bills, along with other benefits like a free hotel night for FBQ members and birthday discounts, clearly offer substantial value. Local customers welcome the opportunity to dine at the four larger hotel restaurants, and Royal Dining members love the program. Secondly, is its increased loyalty and usage. So the program was an immediate success with over 5,000 members enrolled in the first year. Active members visit frequently, an average of 4.8 visits per year, and this indicates that local customers perceive value in incentivized to utilize the hotel restaurant more often. Third is the potential for frustration and negative brand perception. So despite being loved, the program was also creates the conflict with their customer due to rules that are driving me nuts. So complaints arise from customers trying to game the system for higher discount, for example, sitting separately and then asking to combine bills and a lack of clarity in rules. Rules should be clearer to the customer. So this can lead to the feelings of anger and frustration among members, hurting their experience and potentially creating negative brand perceptions. The comment is impressing that they are in Hong Kong brand and have to deal with tacky discount, suggests as a perception that the discount itself can cheapen the experience. So now we move to the full paying hotel guests and dinners. So first, the erosion of upscale image and brand value. So the primary dilemma highlighted is that the program may have a negative effect on the painstakingly built and maintained high-end luxury image of the Hong Kong brand hotels. So significant discount can make full paying guests feel as though they are not receiving a commensurate value, or that the restaurants are no longer as exclusive or premium as they once were. The comment, we have new owners who are very much focused on the bottom line. I imagine their reactions if we suddenly dumped the program. I'm thinking that maybe we should extend the scale to beverage to make our cost of sales much lower. Right now, our food cost percentage is on 32%, but average cost percent is only 24%. I think it would be a strong contributor to financial performance, and this comment suggests a concern about the scales impacting profitability and potentially quality perceptions. Secondly, about creation of a discounted brand perception. So the widespread discounting could shift the brand's perception from a luxurious, exclusive establishment to one that is more discount oriented. If full paying guests are aware that others are receiving substantial discounts, they might feel such change or question the initial pricing, which undermines the perceived value of a premium experience. And lastly, it contributes to staff dissatisfactions. The text mentioned that a few managers and servers has expressed unhappiness with the program, and it creates conflicts with diners. This could indirectly affect full-paying guests through suboptimal service or inconsistency in rule enforcement, negatively impacting the experience. So, in short, while the program offers significant value and fosters loyalty among loyal customers, these customers also experience frustration at times, and the program risks undermining the luxury image and perceived value of the Hong Kong Grand Hotel, particularly for full-paying guests, and creates internal conflicts.
So let's continue with the question that how could the hotel address the issues? So to address the challenges faced by the Rosso dining program such as overwhelming brand delusion and operational strain, we propose a strategic four-pack solution. First is reposition and refine the program. Second, enhance brand perception. Third, review membership eligibilities. And the last one is improve internal operation. So move to the first one is the reposition and refine the program. We must refine how RD operate. So it means that we the first one is the limit usage during the peak time. So we suggest enforcing the blackout period more strictly so that Friday dinner, weekend, public holiday and peak hour like 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So this help prevent the RD user from browsing out of full paying guests and protect the hotel profitability and guest experience. Second, implement the reservation cap. So each restaurant should limit RDCs to just 20 to 30% per time slot. This maintains a healthy mix of customer and increase the sense of exclusivity. So the system should separate the quotas for hotel guests, walk-ins, and RD member. The third one is the tire reward system. So not all RD members are the same. So let's reward those who bring more values. So Gold tier member get the VIP treatment, so while the entry level user get the basic access. So this encourage the better behavior and loyalty. So let's move to enhance the brand perception. So we must restore the retickets of RD by rebranding it. So first is the rebrand as a Retic Club. Rename the program to something aspirational like the Brand Circle or the Royal Society. So the market is as access to the elite experience, not just a discount club. So use the premium visuals such as black or gold membership card to the signal status. So second is the better communication and expectation. So all new members should receive a welcome kit, including an etiquette guide, a code of conduct, and a story about the hotel luxury heritage. So this sets a tone for the behavior and reinforce the brand values. So move to the review membership eligibilities. So we need to fill out the low commitment user. So first is the reduce free membership. So the partnership with the redeem card company should be re-evaluated. So we can either train a licensing fees for each member or cap the number of third parties set up to the avoid over saturation. Also introduce the minimum spend requirement. So to renew the membership, user must spend a set amount, say the 2,000 Hong Kong dollar per year, or earn the point through dining. So this discourage the discounts only dinner and remove more frequent visit. So move to the last one is improve internal operation. Uh, the success relies on the strong operation. So that's why the staff needs training and empowerment. Staff must be trained to explain the RD group clearly, resolve the issue politely, and apply policies consistently without the compromising the service quality. And also the feedback system. So introduce the digital service portal for both RD and non-RD guests. So to track the feedback by customer types and allow staff to log repeat the problem behavior. So this helps us make the data-driven improvement and spot the red flag early. So in conclusion, By repositioning the RD program, protecting our brand identity, refining the membership rules, and empowering our staff, the hotel can strike a better balance between the exclusivities and accessibilities, restoring both profitability and resilience.
Moving into the question 4, review the rules set for the Royal Dining Program and how would you go about setting rules for the program that would protect the hotel against abuse without making the members feel that the program is unnecessarily restrictive and difficult to use. So first, let's explore the first part of this question, reviews of current rules of the Royal Dining Program. So, the examinations of the current rules of the RD program at the Hong Kong Grand Hotel reveals an initial framework crafted to attract members and enhance revenue, yet it harbors significant shortcomings that enable abuse and adversely affect customer experience and the hotel's prestigious brand image. The first rule is that the rule on membership fees and tiers. So the RD program consists of two types of membership that are available, which are Royal Dining Traditional and Royal Dining Epicure. Notably, the majority of members opted for the Epicure membership because it included a free room night at the hotel. So this rule serves as a strategic approach to market segmentation. A limitation for this rule is that a notable weakness lies in the lack of differentiation based on members' spending value, which hinders the maximization of revenue potential across different segments. So, for instance, when you look at the Exhibit 3, it highlights that all the traditional members average about 71% active cards, while credit card Epicure members average for only around 26% active cards. So it underscores that some members contribute significantly higher value without receiving symmetric benefits. The second rule is the rule on discount. So the rule provides that a 50% discount on dining costs for two adults when utilizing one membership card at a table, applicable solely to food and restricted to one card per table. So it functions as an attractive incentive to roll in member. So why? The limitation here is that the absence of robust enforcement renders the rule susceptible to abuse. So for example, that Exhibit 8, the captured staff complains that the Cantonese cafes stating that everyone is trying to get around the rules and they try to game the system. So it reflects the instances where members they attempt to split tables or use multiple cards, thereby reducing revenue from full paying customers. Moving into the next rules of this is the rules on time management and preservation. So the requirement of advanced reservations and the exclusion of discount during peak periods such as Valentine's Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and the first few days of Chinese New Year, alongside special events like banquets or private dining requiring deposits, intended to manage demand during high traffic period. So the limitation here is that the lack of specific limit on usage, frequency, or capacity allocation results in operational strain and dissatisfaction. And the last rule is the rule on capacity and seating allocation. The absence of specific regulations governing the number of RD members who can utilize discount daily or during particular time slot based on varying table configurations, as you can see in the Exhibit 5. And with that, the Cap would be with a 15 table, Hollywood Row Delhi with 16 table represents a strategic oversight. So the limitation here is lies on the gaps that leads to RD members occupying seats intended for full paying customer, particularly during peak hours. So this illustrating an imbalance that diminishes the experience of regular customers and place pressure on infrastructure. So in conclusion, while the current RD rules have generated good performance from 4,000 members, they fall short in controlling the abuse and managing the capacity, differentiating customer value and regulating usage frequency. So these deficiencies not only weaken their potential profits but also undermine the upscale brand image and customer satisfaction, so necessitating a new strategically designed rule system.
Okay, so we move to the second part of the questions. To establish the new rules, a appalling strategy is proposed to the
to safeguard the profitability, maintain the service quality, and preserve the member satisfaction with the RD program. The following rules are developed based on the identified issues from the reflection of existing rules in the Royal Dining Program above. So the first rules is recommended is the principle for the designing proof. The new rules must achieve a win-win situation, protecting the revenue and service quality while maintaining the perceived value for members. This arises from the case study recognition that the Royal Dining Program both generate revenue and displays the phone-paying customer. The case study further emphasized the questions that we need to think about is how to provide a good value to our Royal Dining members, but keep the revenue flowing while protecting the hotel from the possible abuse. Thus, the rules should optimize revenue and uphold the upscale image while retaining the members. Second is the capacity management rule. Limiting capacity allocation during the peak hours proved the essential to protect the phone-paying customer. Evidently, the highest dinner revenue is on weekend, which had not the high Royal Dining member traffic. And the case study also mentioned the Royal Dining members are getting the best tables, pointing to an imbalance. Therefore, keeping Royal Dining usage at a 40% of the capacity during the peak hours, Friday to the Sunday dinner, requiring a 48-hour advance reservations for the weekend dinners, and prioritizing premium tables for non our Royal Dining walk-in customer are recommended. And this approach safeguards big revenue and facilitate the planning, alleviating, alleviating pressures on the restaurant space. And thirdly is time membership rule. Segmenting member based on spending behavior emerges as a key strategy to optimize the dining experience and revenue. Exhibit 3 highlight that the Royal Dining Traditional 41% active and Royal Dining Epicure 76% active outperform the credit card categories, and the case study suggests that Royal Dining members might be willing to pay more for their dining experience. Hence, we suggest to classify the membership into three tiers. First, the Platinum tier, Royal Dining Royal Dining Traditional and Epicure with unlimited access, priority booking, and flexible timing. The Gold tier for the credit card Traditional with the standard access and time restrictions. And lastly is the Silver tier credit card Epicure with limited access and off-peak priority are proposed. This approach segments the member by value, rewards loyalty, and maintains inclusiveness. Next is about the usage frequency control rule. Limiting the usage frequency become necessary to prevent the abuse while allowing the reasonable access. The case study stated that the staff complained everyone is trying to get around the rules. Therefore, we suggest that a cap for 8 visits per month for platinum, 6 for gold, and 4 for silver, with a 48-hour cooling off period between the discount visits, and a maximum of 2 weekend dinners per month for non-platinum members are suitable. This exceeds the current average to avoid the restricting normal users while deterring the abuse. And lastly is the service quality protection rule. The establishing the behavior guidelines and service standards emerges as vital to maintain the experience for all the guests. And the case study records that complaints of conflicts it creates with dinner and the type of the customer it attracts, and quite a few managers and servers had expressed the unhappiness. Hence, the guidelines for the respectful behavior toward the staff and other guests, ensuring the Royal Dining members receive no preferential treatment in service, bid, or quality, and implementing a three-strike system for inappropriate behavior are proposed. This upholds the service standards and the staff morale.
Right, and for question number 5, how could negative server attitudes toward royal dining customer be handled? So for this one, actually, the negative server attitudes toward the royal dining customers primarily stem from the several operational and the emotional tensions, perceived unfairness, and the abuse of discount rules, increased workload, and conflicts with the hotel's luxury image. So, to address these issues, a combination of training, policy refinement, and internal communication strategies is needed. Here are several approaches that I think might work. So, first of all, the hotel must improve the staff training and empowerment. So, like first of all, for the empathy, the they need to train the servers to understand the Royal Dining members as paying customers, normal ones, who bring the value through the membership fees, and they will reinforce a hospitality first mindset. And next, the conflict resolution skills must also be involved, like equip the servers with communication techniques to handle the disputes over the discount rules calmly and professionally. And for the empowerment, give the staff clearer authority to enforce the policies and decline unreasonable demands without the fear of backlash. So much of frustration stems from the awkward confrontations with the customer who try to game the system, right? So this training will help reduce the tension and give the staff confidence. And next, I think that the hotel can also adjust the program rules to reduce the abuse, like stricter enforcement and clearer communication. Try to enforce one card per table strictly and make this rule very visible in both printed and digital materials. And also, they need to limit the loopholes. Like, for example, sitting separately and watching tables should be explicitly prohibited in the program's terms. And they need to require the RE members to book in advance during peak hours, which will reduce the unexpected crowding and tension. So when rules are clear and consistent, both customer and staff feel more secure. And it also reduces the situations where the servers are surprised and they are caught in the argument. Moreover, for the staff, we can make something to recognize them, for example, like reward. So it like the incentives for the service quality. So even with RD member, for example, like the hotel can offer bonuses or recognition for the servers who receive good feedback and regardless of the customer status. And they can also create the feedback loops, like allow the staff to regularly report the challenges with RD customers to management, and they can suggest the improvement. Yeah, when staff feel heard and supported, their motivation will improve and their attitudes toward challenging customer can shift more positively. And lastly, I think that is like the solution from the inside internal communication. They need to align the visions for all the staff. So in detail, they need to clarify the business case for the RE program to the frontline staff first to help them understand how membership fees and increased volume contribute to their job security and hotel performance. And they need to acknowledge the difficulties, like management should openly recognize the challenges servers face and demonstrate a willingness to improve the conditions to the servers. So, like transparency builds the buy-in. When staff understand the why behind a policy, they are more likely to support it, even if it has some strengths. Yeah. So that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.